Peter, did you bring me any souvenirs?
You know what? I actually did, but yeah, I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, so this is a base plate or a balancing plate.
Okay.
This is a handle.
Okay.
And this is a tiny little tripod. Huh? And the big thing is the DJI RONIN RS2.
Oh, dang. How did you sneak that into your carry-on with all your other things? This is dedication right here. He's got a bag, one carry-on for this whole trip, and you managed to sneak in the RONIN.
Yeah, I did. It actually, I thought that they would definitely like say that it's too heavy to bring with you, but I managed to bring it. And what I've heard is that you are not that good at using a gimbal.
Okay, this is confession time, guys. I am the worst gimbal user in the world. There's been a few times where I've balanced the gimbal, I've taken out for a shoot, and literally the moment I try to film with the gimbal, something's off balance, something's not working. I get so frustrated that I just throw the gimbal and I start filming handheld again. So I've said to Peter today that since he came all the way to Finland from Sweden, I need him to give me a crash course on how to use a gimbal.
We're totally gonna make you a pro gimbal operator after we're done with this. Hey? One of the things that I didn't like about the original DJI RONIN S was that it was super clunky, and you like when you were trying to take it apart, it was like flopping around and stuff. So what I like about this one is the modularity. So this is the main part, the battery, tripod, and you're done.
You remind me like a SWAT guy with a gun, like putting the magazine clip in there and setting it all up.
And one of the best parts is this, like the locks. You can lock it in different places so that it stays in place. That is like wonders.
Okay, is it me or is Peter a good salesman? Because I feel like I need to go now on the Rona website and click add to basket. I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, the most hardest and frustrating part of a gimbal is balancing. So I've told Peter, help me figure out how to balance gimbals, show me the steps to do it. So he's gonna give me this crash course right here.
Okay, first things first, you wanna make sure that you put on the camera on the gimbal. Secondly, you wanna put it down on a level surface so that it doesn't like stand on an angle like that. And then we're gonna snap out all the locks so that we have a little bit of moving around with the gimbal. There you go. And as you can see, right now the gimbal is not balanced at all because it's way too heavy on this side. So we're gonna turn this a little bit back on the, I think it's like, what kind of axis is that?
I don't even know.
Pan, roll.
YZ, roll. some axis.
And somewhere around here looks pretty good. We're gonna adjust it slightly more. So we're just gonna push it ever so slightly, and I'm gonna lock it in place. And as you can see, you don't wanna have this when you're using a gimbal because cradling is not good for the batteries of the gimbal. So what we are going to do is that we're gonna move the camera back so that we get a good balance. Somewhere around there, and then we're gonna lock the camera down. And now we are, hang on.
New product. There's always a learning curve.
And now you're also gonna try to see how it looks. Like, is the gimbal gonna stay in place if you do it like this? No, okay. Then we're gonna move this part up. So we're gonna screw this, loosen the screw, and move it up, a little bit down. And we wanna make sure that we have a good balance. And I'm gonna turn the zoom lens to 24. So I have it between 15 and 35. And let's see. Still cradling a little bit. And we're starting to close in. There we go. I'm gonna lock it in place. And now I'm gonna adjust the back part again, the roll axis, so that we have it centered. Starting to get close. And I'm gonna move the camera slightly forward because we adjusted the zoom. Look at that.
Look at that. You did that like in a minute.
Almost.
That was pretty quick.
Some fine-tuning adjustments to it.
Voila.
Voila. And now we can start the gimbal, because now we have such a good balance on the gimbal so that it stays in place. And we're gonna hold this, and then there's a power button here on the side. Ta-da!
Success.
And we're ready to go. All right, how does it feel?
It's definitely light. Yeah.
This part is actually carbon fiber.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a frustration with gimbals in the past that I felt they're just too heavy, that your back starts to really hurt, but this one, even one-handed, it's not too heavy. And if you're using two hands, then it's like there's nothing right now.
So initial impression is good.
Yes. Very good.
So what kind of gimbal shots do you want to learn?
I want to see the Peter special, your 3 favorite gimbal movement shots.
All right, I'm going to teach you that. We're going to get you some really, really smooth gimbal shots today.
All right.
So the first gimbal shot that we're going to do is going to be like a low orbiting gimbal shot. So basically you're going to hold the gimbal really close to the ground, and then you're going to orbit around the subject that you want to have. And the difference between like having an orbiting shot up here and close to the ground is that you have the foreground off the ground, making the movement really, really immense, instead of like almost having no movement at all in the frame. So that's a huge plus. The second shot is the revealing shot, and this one's really good when you want to like make a really good establishing shot or show something but not reveal it straight away. So for example, like if you go behind the trees and then come through the leaves and then show the surrounding, that is going to give you the feeling of like you showing the audience the huge landscape or setting or whatever it is that you want to show off. The third move is going to be a follow shot. This is going to be a really classical one, but we are going to like tweak it a little bit and have it close to the ground, because then again, you want to make sure that you have the foreground moving with your subject, but you can also have it close to the face of your subject, or have like a cropped up top, so that you can have that in your shot to make it feel more alive and give a little bit of depth to the story that you're shooting.
And a perk of having a gimbal is that you don't need to be holding the ground or the camera to the ground like I'm always doing, breaking my back. I'm turning to Peter, I can't speak English anymore. The perk of having a gimbal and these.
Do not hang out too much with me, because then you totally forget how to speak.
But yeah, one of the perks of having a gimbal is that you can just walk really comfortably, as Peter's showing right now, show the gimbal to the ground. You can just walk like that and get that nice follow shot, rather than me, I'm always just, you know, really hunched over trying to keep the camera low to the ground, and it's just not as good. So
whenever you're doing any kind of like walking shot with your gimbal, you want to make sure that you do the ninja walk. And the ninja walk is basically when you have your knees bent like this, and then walk heel to toe, so that you get the smoothest possible shots with your gimbal. Just because it's you who are watching, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip. This is gonna be the oh hello one. You best take the camera and then, oh hello Teppo.
hello.
It looks good though.
It does. Guys, I have thoroughly enjoyed today's shooting with my good friend Peter, and getting a whole crash course on how to set up the gimbal and doing some gimbal movements. If you want to hear more about the Ronin RS2 and its features, jump over to Peter's channel and check out his video because he's talking more in depth about the gimbal. We are gonna go jump in the sauna.
Yes.
And then into the lake.
And then into the jacuzzi.
And then into the jacuzzi. How did you say it? The jacuzzi?
Jacuzzi?
The jacuzzi. He's going to jump into the jacuzzi. I turned into Italian, not a Swede.
Jacuzzi.
We're out.